I appreciate you taking the time to join. I know, you've been working with Christy, and she said some great things about your company and successes that you've had with JM. So, that's why we're here to talk a little bit more about you, your company, and your success with JM. So, just to get things kicked off, Aaron, just tell me a little bit more about yourself, your company, your position, and what you do.
Yeah. So before joining our family business here, the cleaning business full time, I worked at McDonald's for 11 years. I started as a crew person, so the bottom, worked my way up, basically to this kind of second in command in the restaurant. So that's where I learned all my leadership skills, a little bit of business skills and things like that. So then I joined the company here full time in 2018, and the cleaning business has been in our family for 20 years.
Wow.
Mainly my mom and dad, and of course I grew up with it all through my life and helping here and there and getting it started way back in I think it was 2001. So yeah, then I had an opportunity to join the company full time. It was kind of my goal the whole time. So the opportunity presented itself. And so I've come on as my role and title is manager of operations.
Okay.
So I kind of handle day-to-day operations, dealing with our customers, bidding, looking for new business, dealing with our employees, everything that goes along with that. And then my dad, being the president of the company, handles, all the big picture things like that.
The visionary.
Exactly.
Okay. Well, very good. Well, yeah, I'm sure you got your hands full, got your hands in a lot of different pots out there and doing some of the sales stuff. So
I do, but it's fun and interesting. It's, I kind of like being at the helm, so to speak, and the responsibility. So kind of being able to run your own show is definitely a benefit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I enjoy that a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. And I see that I was looking at your account. So you guys have, is it 7 employees in your company?
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay. Are they?
So this business we have, Kidron, it's our second cleaning company. There was one we had when we first started out. That one was sold.
Okay.
So this one we started up when I came on board full time in 2018. So we're just coming up to about 3 years.
Okay.
So we're building the team. We're building the customer base and doing all that we can.
Okay. So the company you had or was founded in 2001. So that one was sold, and then you started like this one 3 years ago. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. Got it. Now the employees that you have, are they all full-time or are they part-time?
A lot of them are part-time right now.
Okay. Perfect. So you got some schedules to manage and things like that, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
So, let's jump into the janitorial manager side of things. You've been in this new company here for 3 years. You've been on since 2018. What were some of the challenges that your company was experiencing that said, hey, we got to find another solution, or, let's take a look at janitorial manager? What kind of was that period? And talk to me about that.
Yeah. So the first thing that came to my mind was being at McDonald's was, every employee clocked in and out,
Mm-hmm.
apart from salary, of course. And I knew that was a platform we needed for the business. One, it, protects the employee that they're getting paid for every minute of work they do. And 2, it definitely protects us. And we know when our employees are clocking in, we know they're doing the work that is set out and in the time frame that we give them. And then the geolocation was a big thing. And we try to go to the ISSA show every year. And
Okay.
that's where I saw the Janitorial Manager program. There was a lady, I don't remember her name, but she was giving a presentation. And so the clocking in and out feature, the timekeeping feature was a big thing. But one thing that I noticed that set Janitorial Manager apart from all the other platforms that we saw at the show, was also performance reviews.
Okay.
And again, just from responsibilities I had at McDonald's, I knew that was vital for implementing it in our business now, getting it started. When we were still taking on employees, we had only a few, so it'd be a lot easier starting. When we have 2 employees rather than we have 50 employees, and we've got to roll this thing in and get everyone on board.
Mm-hmm.
So those were the major things that stood out to me.
So since you've implemented the employee reviews, have you seen the quality of clean improve or employee retention improve, any of those aspects?
Yes, definitely. When we can sit down with an employee and, have that review with them and, lay it out kind of step by step, and they can see, I think it is definitely more personal to them. And, again, they take their work more personal. The building they're working in, they take it as their own. And, while they're working, we've sat down, we've had this meeting, gone over the review, and they can put it into practice, in the building they're working in. And again, when they take it like the building is their own, they take much better care with it. And, being able to store the reviews, in the program on the website. Mm-hmm. So you kind of always have them, they're never lost in a file or something like that. Really good.
How often do you have the reviews with the employees?
So we do one every 6 months. One is kind of just performance, and then one is wage. So we're kind of constantly reviewing, making sure there's improvements, but it's also a good way to acknowledge, strengths and where people are doing a good job. We don't want to just use it as something to say, you know what, you're failing here, you need to improve here.
Yeah.
But a way to say, yes, these are some opportunities, but look at these strengths you have, look at these areas where you're excelling in your position.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah. You got to have a balance between constructive criticism and some praise in there too.
For sure.
So every employee, it sounds like, are they all assigned to their own single building, or do they have multiple buildings they clean?
Yes. Right now we kind of have one employee per building that we have.
Oh, that's very cool. And what kind of buildings do you guys clean? Is it just all random, or is it office buildings, or what does that look like?
Yeah. So with us being just a strictly commercial cleaning company, mm-hmm. For the most part, we do a lot of office buildings. And then we'll also service some tenants in those office buildings. So, we're doing common areas of the office buildings plus, people's individual offices. But for the most part, on a day-to-day consistent basis, generally it's office buildings.
Okay, very good. And then since you guys implemented Janitorial Manager and are doing those reviews, have you had, I'm sure, maybe you have had some employee turnover in that period, but has it been better than what it was beforehand?
Yes, it's getting better. Definitely COVID has had its impact. And now that it looks like we're on the tail end of it. The talent we're able to grab is much better than, the beginning of the year. Mm-hmm. But yes, turnover is slowing down. Very
good. Now let's talk about some of the other features you're using. We brought out the QR code feature earlier this year, and Christy said you're using the public scan and also the employee scan as well. Talk to me about how you're using that and really why you decided to implement that for your company.
Yeah, so as I think everyone knows, when what comes with a cleaning company are complaints. Mm-hmm. And, the toilet paper being it is a huge thing. So I definitely saw with a QR code, if someone, just anyone has the ability to, scan the QR code and says this toilet paper is out or something, we can get on that a lot quicker than, a complaint going from a tenant in the building to the management of the building. And then the management of the building has to get to us. And, it could be at the end of the day by the time we get that information. And even though the tenant is not our customer, it's definitely an image we are presenting to them that, even though they're in the building. So being able to have that quick feedback, as well as to record the feedback and be able to go in and look at it, was the major thing. And as well, the employees being able to scan the codes. And again, another way that we can see, yes, it was cleaned and the timestamps on it. If someone goes into a restroom and starts cleaning at 6:35 and they finish cleaning at, 6:40 or 6:45, we know that, okay, they were in there for 10 minutes. They did the job properly, as opposed to, well, it was scanned at this time and, there's only one timestamp. So it's good for us, and it's good to also show our customer as well that just extra steps to show that the work is being completed, and here's the report.
What has your customers' response been since you guys have implemented QR codes? I'm sure I can imagine things getting lost in the chain of communication between, hey, the toilet paper is out, I'm supposed to tell this manager, and somebody might forget, and then it never gets done. And
yeah,
I wouldn't want to walk into a bathroom and there's no toilet paper, but you know what I mean? So.
Yeah, pretty much every customer has liked the idea. And they're happy that, we put the QR codes in. It's a feature that, maybe they're not too used to, or companies in the past, they've never really had that feature. So getting the QR codes in has been easy, no issues. Everyone's been on board. The trouble has been getting the customer to use them.
Okay.
More often than not, kind of we see that, they want as little to do with the cleaning, which is understandable. That's why we're in there. That's our job. But they don't really want to go beyond that, then kind of just hiring you. And then if a complaint comes in, well, we'll tell you, rather than kind of utilizing the QR codes and sending that feedback to us. So now some customers are more adapted than others, but it's just trying to get the customer to use the feature.
Yeah, I know what you mean. And QR codes, I know they're big in the Asian countries, like in Japan and China. They're pretty widely used over here. They're relatively still newer, I found out, over in the West, in the US and Canada. Like for COVID, I think it really took off here, because if you went to a restaurant, they wouldn't give you the menus anymore. You had to scan a QR code. So I think it's gained popularity there. But in China and Japan, they use it for like everything. It's like second nature. They use it for payment over there too. So it's only a matter of time. It'll pick up, but very good.
Yeah. And one thing, it allows you with the phone, which I was just thinking, with the menu, we do the same. Restaurants are doing the same here in Canada. I think it's great. Everything is going to the phone. Of course, we know that. So it gives the customer or anyone the opportunity to take care of the feedback, put the feedback in right now, as opposed to, okay, I need to remember that once I get back to my office, then I got to type out an email. So that instantaneous feedback, that's kind of what I liked. And to be honest, it is a feature that one of the national companies here in Canada utilizes them. And, we want things that set us apart from, other smaller cleaning companies right now as we grow. That's what I had in mind as well, is that you kind of think, well, features like this, you tether them to kind of a larger, more national company. And, hopefully in that mindset could help us when bidding on projects, or, even someone calling and asking for a quote.
Okay. So you're using it as a selling point then?
For sure. Oh yeah.
Okay. Oh, very good.
Yeah. We advertise that we use Janitorial Manager big time. And in our bidding proposals, we have it put out what the customer can use, what's the benefit to them, and how they can use it, and all the features. So it's definitely a selling point that again can hopefully differentiate us from competition.
Absolutely. Oh, that's awesome. So moving away from the QR codes, I know you guys are using the inspections feature. What were you doing before Janitorial Manager inspections?
Uh, well, the company, when it was just my dad, he had there was another company he had, but then got rid of it or something. But so it was kind of just you go in, you visually check it, and that was it. If a complaint came in, we'd say, okay, we're going to go check it out and report back to you. Yes, we followed up with our staff, and we're going to stay on top of this. And again, the next few days we're going to follow up, make sure that you, the customer, are happy.
Mm-hmm.
So again, no reports, nothing that the customer could see. And again, I think the customer being able to see something visually
Mm-hmm.
is huge. So again, with inspections, from my dad being in the business, he knew inspections are key. One of the most important roles in the cleaning business is
Mm-hmm.
you do inspections. You want to submit it to your customer. Again, things that make you stand out than the competition. You're not writing it down on a piece of paper and storing it in a filing cabinet that again the customer can't even see. So
Right. So it's the transparency between the two and
right, yeah,
just validating, hey, this is what we did. And it even protects you too, because it's like,
mm-hmm.
they could come out and say, hey, someone ripped a toilet seat off and,
Right,
some kid, and they could blame you for it. But it's
yep,
like, well, hey, here's the picture, buddy. It
yep.
wasn't us. So that's,
Yeah, and I think if in our inspections, obviously, a building and work is not going to be, you can't inspect it and everything is perfect, right? So when you submit that report and you notice areas of opportunity and present it to the customer, I think they're going to go, okay, good, you're taking initiative. I see that these people I've hired are inspecting the building, taking initiative. They've acknowledged there's an area of opportunity, and they're going to take care of it and look after it. And hopefully the next inspection, it scores better.
mhm.
So
So by areas of opportunity, you mean if you see something like, I don't know, there's some grime or something in a corner or something
yeah,
like that. Okay.
yeah, if the cleaning is not up to our standard, um, then again, we have it on that report, and then we'll do whatever we need to do with the employee and making sure that things are done properly. And again, when that next inspection comes, hopefully we score much better.
Okay. Very good. A quick question. I forgot to ask you this about the QR codes. Do you guys use the checklists when your employees are going through with like the steps or anything? Has that been implemented in your company?
Yes, it's a very important feature for us because we do have some employees that work best off a checklist. If they
Mhm.
had a checklist to remind them what needs done. So it's a perfect way to avoid having to carry around another piece of paper
Mhm.
and a pen and whatever and manually check it off. And I tell everyone when I'm training them, if you forget something or you're cleaning a restroom again and say, did I get everything done? Best way to check, scan the QR code and go through the checklist. And you have to manually hit complete. Okay, yes. I changed the garbage liner. So yes, I did do it. I complete, done. And you
Mhm.
hit finish cleaning. So the checklist and almost steps in whatever room or area we're cleaning on that QR code is huge
Mhm. Awesome.
and
Yeah. No,
definitely beneficial for our employees, big time.
absolutely. Yeah. It's protecting them. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's easy to forget. I mean, people make mistakes, but this is
Yep.
eliminating that human error.
Mm-hmm.
Um, So then the next feature, talk to me about you guys are using the scheduling a little bit. And maybe the scheduling is simpler for you guys if you have one employee per building. I know it's been a really big benefit for those companies that have many, many employees and they're shuffling people around the different locations. But talk to me about that feature, why you implemented it and how it's being used.
Yeah. So yes, it is a lot easier when we have one person per building. Um, so for the most part, when we kind of set the schedule, um, we can set it just as recurring. So Monday to Friday, 5 to 10, and that's it for that employee. And you don't really need to make any changes. Um, One thing though, with our tendering, mostly how we get our business is through tendering. So, townships, cities, governments, and they'll put in, in their tender document, we need to, if we win it, we have to submit a schedule of the cleaning. So, being able to set that schedule up in Janitorial Manager, being able to kind of print it off or put it in a PDF form and send it off to the customer. It's organized, it's laid out, and, I don't have to go through an Excel spreadsheet or something, putting something together, formatting it, and then setting it up. It just saves me so much time. I get a clear picture of the week schedule or the month schedule, even the day schedule. And I know where everyone is, what time they got to start, and
Nice.
I can just stay on top of it so much easier.
That's awesome. No surprises. No one likes surprises.
Exactly. So. Yes, for sure.
Very good. Now the supply management, Chris, you said you're using that too. Talk to me a little bit about that.
Yeah, that's another feature that really drew us to Janitorial Manager. One way we've implemented it is, obviously with our onboarding process, we go through the app with the employee. We show them the supply request, but we tend to do it so we do our ordering every month, and it's a lot easier for me to show an employee how to kind of submit one supply request at the end of the month for everything that is needed, as opposed to, having to go to this employee. Okay, what do we need? Then you got to go to the next employee. What do we need? And then so on and so forth. Okay. With 5 employees, 7 employees. Okay. Maybe it's not too bad right now, but again, we've got 50, 100 employees. Nobody can go into each employee individually. So, they generate the report. I can print it off, mark it as complete. And, it makes the ordering process so much easier. And one thing I like to do is print off the request, and then being able to, that sheet of paper, being able to submit that to the building. So the employee and the people working in the building, they know exactly what they have, and can kind of take inventory of themselves for it as well. So it's so much easier.
Very good. Now, have you guys used the QR codes for any supply requests or anything like that? Some of our customers were doing that. I wasn't sure if that's something like, for example, an employee comes in and he notices, hey, we're low on trash bags or something. He could scan a QR code and just submit hey, we need trash cans, or not trash can, trash bags. Wasn't sure.
No, actually, I never thought of that. One thing we have started using the QR codes is for like equipment maintenance.
Okay.
So, they scan the QR code. We have a few floor scrubbers. So obviously there's kind of a post maintenance after you use it, make sure you clean the squeegee, make sure you rinse out the tank, everything like that. So we have implemented that so that, again, I can know that, yes, it was finished. And because I obviously can't go check that every single day. And, equipment like that, if it's not being maintained, it breaks down, then there's costs associated. So for supply requests, no, I haven't, I never thought of that.
Okay. Well, there's an idea for you. You could try it out and see how it goes. But that's a good point on the maintenance stuff too, because that's expensive stuff, and you don't want to be paying for that if it can be maintained. Yep. So the other question I had here, I know a lot of times when you bring on new technology, some employees are reluctant to use it. That's kind of like, I don't understand it, or I'm a little fearful. Did you experience any reluctance upon bringing anything on, like the timekeeping or QR codes from your employees?
Thankfully not. Our staff base is younger in age for the most part. We do have some kind of older in age. So of course, implementing it is maybe a little bit tougher for them to understand it or just know how it works. But no, I just make sure to put the time in to make sure they understand how it works and kind of go through the basics of using the platform. But I also present it in a way that, it's beneficial for them. So, being able to clock in and out, it's beneficial for you because, if your shift is 5 to 7 and you don't clock in, like there's no clock in or timekeeping feature. Well, if you work until 7:05, how do I know if you've worked until 7:05, right? You're not going to get paid for those 5 minutes. So, get on board with this technology. It protects you. It makes sure you're getting paid for, all the work you're doing. And, that it says, yes, I clocked in at this location. So yeah, I was there. So nobody can say, no, I wasn't there. The cleaning didn't get done. Same thing with the QR codes. It protects the employee. So I like to put it on them and show them how it benefits them greatly.
Do they use the facial recognition with the timekeeping at all?
No, I saw that in release notes, but I haven't looked too much into it, to be honest.
Okay.
So
you could ask Christy about it. I mean, it's worth it. I know some employees, if you trust your employees, that's great. But some people, they're like, hey, I show up to a site randomly and I'm expecting to see Jane there, and I see a guy named Bob and Gene. Right. So that's why they liked it, but kind of eliminates that. They call it buddy punching, which is interesting. So
I've heard of that happening kind of with cleaning companies, but I'll have to look more into that now that you brought it up again.
Okay. Yeah. Christy, she'll talk to you about it. Looks like we got time for one more question. So let's talk about your company and where you're going in the future. We're getting here towards the tail end of 2021. What are some of the goals you're looking to achieve, moving into the end of this year and then into 22 and beyond?
Yeah. So just like any company, what we're focused on is growth. We want to bring, people on board, expand the team as much as possible. Again, just working at McDonald's, I kind of understand that multinational company, that size of company. And, that's really, really our goal for the whole, big picture. COVID has actually posed some challenges for us, because we're a relatively new company. Everyone thinks, well, COVID, everyone needs cleaning. Yes, but, we're trying to get our name out there still. And, if people don't know us, they're obviously not going to come hire us. For kind of a one goal for the end of 2021, we don't really have one goal set. Again, it's just grow. And, again, ultimately we want to be one of the biggest in Canada, and then just expand everywhere we can. So
that's awesome. Yeah. And you guys got some good experience behind you. It sounds like, your dad's been at it a long time and you helped out and you got that operational experience. And, no, that's awesome. Really good stuff.